The Oakland Raiders were armed with 3 first-round picks this year, 9 in total, and wanted to make sure that this draft class would be the foundation for future success with the organization. This was also General Manager Mike Mayock's first draft as General Manager, and he wanted to leave his own imprint on this foundation class as well. Oakland had a lot of holes on their roster, but defensively is where they wanted to improve significantly this season. 3 Clemson Tigers and defensive end Clelin Ferrell, cornerback Trayvon Mullen, and wide receiver Hunter Renfrow not only bring talent to the table, but also championship pedigree. Tight end Foster Moreau out of LSU was underutilized in college and figures to be a much better pro than he was in Baton Rouge, and you can point to the Senior Bowl week as evidence of that happening. What I like most about the Raiders draft was the Jonathan Abrams selection. He's got the attitude and the playing style of a Rodney Harrison type safety, and I like that type of defender. He plays the game at 100% all the time and is an outstanding run defender and blitzer. Cornerback Isaiah Johnson out of Houston was one of my favorite corners in the class. That Houston defense was underrated in my opinion. They had some legit athletes out there, and Johnson's ability to play press, blitz, and have the ability to turn and run with receivers is what made his tape excellent in my opinion. I didn't have a grade on Quentin Bell out of Prairie View A&M when my grades came out before the Combine, but while at the Combine, I met with a scout of an NFC team, and we sat down at the hotel bar and watched Bell's film on my phone as he brought up his name as a guy that could be a high riser post-Combine. Fast forward to the Pro Day circuit where Bell ran a 4.41, and he was absolutely right. What's impressive about his tape is that when he went from wide receiver to defensive end, he played the position like a defensive end instead of an offensive player trying to play defensive end. You can't teach heart, you can't teach want to or athleticism. Everything else you can, and he'll get that in Oakland, so Bell has tremendous upside. I also like Josh Jacobs going to the Raiders. While he may not be the home run hitter, he is a guy that does a solid job of consistently making a first defender miss, which is an elite trait in its own right. He's going to get that opportunity to prove Oakland correct by investing a first-round pick in his services. Tyler Romer out of San Diego State graded out pretty high for me as he was my number 2 tackle prospect. I like his ability on both ends of offense, pass protection, and also in the running game, and should prove to be a big-time steal for the Raiders. Keelan Doss out of UC Davis was another one of my favorite prospects to watch. He was one of the more consistent wideouts on film, both in the Big Sky Conference and against FBS teams like Oregon and Stanford. Doss was also stellar at the recent Senior Bowl as well. Fordham has quietly pumped out some legit talent over the years, and cornerback Dylan Mabin is yet another one. He's a tremendous athlete that also has special teams value as a returner. A lone corner who can press with his hands and with his feet makes him an intriguing prospect. Ronald Ali was a big ball of disruption up front for Nichols defensively. He's got great ball get off and the awareness to match, which is why he was always involved in so many plays as a Colonel. Oakland also landed my number 1 fullback prospect in the class in Alec Ingold out of Wisconsin. His ability as a receiver out of the backfield is what impressed me the most. This was on display both on tape at Wisconsin and at the Senior Bowl. I gave Oakland an A for their draft. Pretty good first class for Mike Mayock. They went with a combination of championship pedigree while also taking calculated risk on prospects with tremendous athleticism that have upside left in their game. And that goes for the prospects they drafted and the ones they brought in as undrafted free agents.